Well, hello again and welcome to Fast Break here. Ray Halbrook from Livestream STL along with Scott Lotta here, where we recap the 2025 now season here, Scotty, and we will be taking care of NJCAA basketball here a little bit, along with Jefferson County High School basketball. And Scott, how you doing today?
Good. Got through Snowmageddon. How about yourself?
Snowmageddon. It's um, we're playing with the ice, so who knows how long it's going to take us to get
Shout out
things
to
done there.
Mrs. Livestream. Hope she's on the mend soon.
Yes. Mrs. Livestream is down and out right now. She's got she cracked a rib, so we're on the mend. She is doing a lot better though.
Was that from one of your jokes? I mean,
no, it was not one of my jokes. She's laughed at all of those already. So, but Scott, let's take a look into the NJCAA season already here, and this is what things look like. We're going to take a look at the women's side here first on the Region 16 standings. And hey, your Jefferson College Vikings on top there at 11-3, 10-6 for North Central, 3-9 for the Metropolitan Wolves, and 0-17, unfortunately, for the St. Louis Community College Archers. And you know, the ladies keep rolling here for the Vikings there, Scotty.
Yeah. We kind of talked to Jacayla a little bit in one of the earlier shows, and she was kind of looking forward to the Christmas break. I don't know if that was extended to, the Snowmageddon break. But,
yeah, right.
But, she was kind of talking about they were kind of on a roll, and was kind of wondering if that was going to maybe hurt their momentum a little bit. But they did have some injuries. They were kind of nicked up a little bit. So hopefully the extended break maybe helped them a little bit.
Yeah, taking a look into a lot of the stats, you're still seeing, Josie Allen always up there on top, and I was just kind of scrolling through a couple of the this week, literally this week, and the stats don't lie. I mean, she's really had a breakout season along with others, but Josie, our hometown Festus girl here, it's always good to talk about.
Like if you were like Beyond the Arc is vacation, you say Josie's on a vacation far away.
There you go. I like it. You just pulled out. You pulled out the 80s reference. I love it. Nice. Very, very, very nice. Let's take a look at the men as well. And we've got on top here, North Central 14-0, just absolutely dominating teams right now.
If you like that sort of thing.
If you do like that sort of thing there. 11-4 for St. Louis Community College there. The Archers are playing some pretty good ball right now. 6-9 for the boys there, for the men over there at Jefferson College, and 6-9 also for the Metropolitan Wolves. Taking a look at that 6-9 record, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. You take a look at the growth from last year, being the first year back after 30-something years of men's basketball at Jefferson College not being around. 6-9 still. I'm still pretty impressed with the amount of wins that Coach CB Walker's putting together there, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, how many programs could say, their first year and a third that they are competitive for one thing,
right?
And then also, look at what they were able to accomplish. And then in the interview that we had with CB earlier in the season, he talked about, hey, we are, just some small tweaks and just cleaning up some things away from being 500 or above.
Right. And the unfortunate thing about the NJCAA that you're only talking about 2 years of being eligible to play as a junior college player, and so it's hard to get your momentum sometimes when you're trying to build an award-winning program as well. So it's tough. So I get it.
But, hats off to Coach Walker. He is a very good communicator. He's very relatable. And whenever he wants to get a point across to you, his intensity definitely translates to where you're like, okay, let's focus in here.
Absolutely, absolutely. They definitely made the right hire there for the Jefferson College Vikings. There, jumping over here to the 11-4 men there for the Archers. The Archers here, we're going to be covering them this week, so kind of excited to see. Yeah, I'm hoping so. Yeah, right. Hoping to see some some big names and tons of highlights. We'll just see what gives. But Coach Collins, we caught up with him this week, and we'll have an interview with him here in a little bit. But the amount of time that Coach Collins I've seen, just in the short amount of time that we've covered, has been an amazing amount of just patience. But at the same time, it's the demeanor to me is pretty amazing. It's pretty top notch.
Yeah, he's definitely got a charisma about him. If you've watched some of the things that we've seen with him, obviously the program, I have them updated. This says 11-4. They lost their last game. They're 11-5.
Okay.
But obviously, he is the momentum on this team. He definitely drives it, and he is all about work in the trenches. Don't take any trips down the court off. So I mean, definitely got him going in the right direction.
Absolutely. And that is our look at the NJCAA. It's time for our Coach's Corner segment here, and we have on the line here Terry Collins from St. Louis Community College Archers, the men's coach over there. Coach Collins, how are you today?
Doing all right. Dug out of the snow, ready to go.
Yes. We've had a little bit of a break, but during the break, lots of snow, and we're still digging out. But you're ready for the second half of the season here. And for those that don't know Coach Terry Collins, he's been part of St. Louis Community College for the past 10 years. So he got a couple of regional regional championships underneath his belt here. So we want to kind of get acquainted with you, Coach. Tell us a little bit about Terry Collins and his experience as the coach of the St. Louis Community College Archers.
Well, it's been a very positive experience. This is our 10th year, so we've had 9 seasons, and we've played in the region championship game 8 of those 9 seasons. Won, obviously, 2 of them, lost 6 of them, and 3 of them were last possession losses. So those are difficult, but there's a consistency there that we're very proud of, and so we just want to if we keep getting there, we're going to win our share. That's kind of how we look at it.
Understandable. We've seen you guys a little bit this year already at the STLCC shootout. Had a great game during that little shootout there. But you guys are running right now at 11-4 on the season. Looking pretty positive for the Archers this season. What's your take right now of where you guys are at as far as a team as a whole?
Well, I think, to be very honest, and sometimes our players don't want to hear this, but the 11-4 is a little bit of a illusion because we haven't beaten a winning team yet.
Okay.
So we don't want to get too caught up in that. We've had some good wins. But I think that the real competition is in front of us. And we found that out a little bit Saturday night. We went to Moberly, and we got our hats handed to us. And so, unfortunately, the snow has kept us off campus for 2 days. I was looking forward to those practices. I'm not sure our players were, but I was. And we're just trying to really learn and really create an identity. I don't think we have an identity yet. And usually by January, you do have an identity. But I think realistically we don't. And we're still shuffling different lineups in and out. And so we're kind of on edge a little bit, to be honest with you. It's better to be on edge when you're 11-4 than 4-11. But
That's right.
The reality is that we haven't beaten a team with a winning record, and so we can't get caught up in the 11-4. Let's really zero in on carving out a true identity that's going to hold up against anybody.
Absolutely. You talk about being getting that identity, and I'll kind of transition this over to some of our questions we've got for you here. How are you able to maximize your talent window with players, knowing you may only have them for a year or two? I
kind of turn that question around a little bit, and our focus is to try to maximize their development within that, whether it's 1 or 2 years, because our real task is to prepare these young men for college basketball at a 4-year university. And we've been successful doing that. Our players have gone on to play at all different levels, have had success there, both in the classroom and outside the classroom. So I just try to use whatever time we get. It's a year or two, to give those players as many opportunities as they can to really mature and to really truly be ready for the 4-year university. They don't understand what's needed at a 4-year university, but I do, because I've had scores of players go on to 4-year schools, and I see what the good ones really do, and how they prepared, how they maximized their time with us. And so that's kind of how I look at it.
Excellent. Excellent. I love that, that analogy and that angle there. Appreciate that. Recruiting. Let's talk a little bit about recruiting too, because that's always an important part of the junior college scene. But recruiting and scouting for the next year is always in play. How do you find the time and keep the program's momentum going?
That's the biggest challenge, without a doubt. My primary responsibility is to the young men under my supervision right now. So I've got to invest the time that we need to do that, to help them grow. But at the same time, I've got to get out and get to the high school games and see who are viable candidates for us. Anyone can identify, the top 20 players, and they're going to go off to 4-year schools, or they're going to sign with Division I JUCOs that have tuition, room, board, and books. We got to find the ones that want to really compete at a high level, because we're playing in a Division I conference, and yet we don't offer room and board. So we got to really qualify the ones that fit us, but they've got to want to compete at a very high level. So we just got to get out and see more and more players and get to know them. It's a little easier now than it was when I first started, because now we have a lot of former players who have already gone on to a 4-year school. They've stayed connected with our program. Several of them are volunteers for us. And when I say volunteers, I mean it's an official capacity as a volunteer. I don't want the NJCAA calling our athletic director saying we have players out there recruiting illegally. But we have several volunteers who played for me, and so they understand what we're looking for. They understand what it takes to play for me, mm-hmm. and they can get out. They're a little younger than I, so they can get out and see a lot of games, and then they let me know who they think are guys that we should be following up with officially.
Excellent. Last question here, and we will let you go here, and we appreciate the time as well. You talked about the ebbs and flows of the season so far. You're about halfway through. Being an experienced coach as you are there, 10 years over there. Ups and downs happen. You're going to have great runs, and then you're going to have struggles sometimes. Who in your circle helps you keeps you even keeled and stay focused on the big picture throughout the entire season?
It's simple and yet maybe a little unusual. I think I think for most men of my age, it might be their wife or their grandchildren, or those are the things that keep you grounded. Sure. In my case, I'm single, so I don't have that. Mm-hmm. But what I am is I'm ordained deacon for the Archdiocese of Chicago.
Great.
And I serve at St. Vincent de Paul Parish, just south of downtown. And those parishioners and the work that I do with them, that keeps me grounded. It's really about understanding that each young man that has come to me it's by the providence of God. That's how what I believe. And so my job is to find that they're really good young men, that maybe they're not making the right cut, maybe they're not guarding the way I want them to guard, but that they're willing to serve and give their time to other people, and it just helps me see them in a different light. And just staying spiritually grounded is crucial for me.
Excellent, excellent. Well, that's awesome, and kudos to you, and appreciate the answer on there. But so great to catch up with you and kind of get to know you and a little bit what's going on with the men's archers team this year. And we appreciate the time, and good luck to you the rest of the way here.
Thank you very much.
Coach Terry Collins from the St. Louis Community College Archers. It's time to take a look at JCAA high school basketball. But before we get started with this year for 2025, we've got to recap a little bit of 2024. And there were a ton of tournaments going on, and we've got the results here right now. On the girls' side, Hillsborough takes first during the West County Kingston tournament, second in the Fredericktown tournament. St. Vincent, they win the FSCB Classic and take third in the Fredericktown tournament. Festus, third in the Fountain City tournament. DeSoto, fourth in the Black and Red tournament. And Jefferson R7, the Blue Jays, Lady Blue Jays there, they take third in the West County Kingston tournament. Over on the boys' side, the Rolla Herbert tournament was won by the Jefferson Blue Jays. Hillsborough ends up taking second in their tournament there at the Steighorst tournament, and fourth in the Bob Sechrist tournament. Festus takes third in the Steighorst tournament. St. Vincent takes fourth in the Warrior Classic. And to round things out here, Windsor takes fourth in the Southside Classic, which I know that was a pretty, all of these tournaments are tough tournaments. And congratulations to all of the teams here that were either victorious or did really, really well.
That's a pretty good representation from the area. I mean, obviously, Festus and Hillsborough kind of jump off the page at you, and Blue Jays doing good too.
Absolutely. We'll take a look into the regular season here right now. Let's take a look at the JCAA small school standings for the girls there. St. Vincent on top, 6-1. Hey, the Crystal City Hornets, 6-5 on the season. Not too shabby there. Jefferson Blue Jays, 5-6. Your Grandview Eagles, I should say. The Grandview Eagles there, 2-5, and Herculaneum rounding things out 0-7 here. And we've seen, a few of the teams here. And give us your thoughts there, Scott, here a little bit on what you think is going on with some of these guys.
Okay. And a mini update here. Since this was put together, Jefferson has evened their record at 6-6.
Okay, they're 6-6.
So
perfect.
Obviously the big one there is Crystal City Hornets, 6-5.
Yeah.
I mean, when you've already tripled your win total from the previous year, and we're just in the first week, edging into the second week of January. I mean, that's got to be a huge momentum for the program.
Very impressed with first year coach over there, and she's doing a lot of pouring a lot of just tender loving care into that Crystal City program too. So my big one, you always you taking a look at St. Vincent, they're rolling at 6-1 here. We haven't had a chance to really see them firsthand this year, but they're always tough, and they always come to play, and always a tough one to tussle against there. So
yeah, and from a program that was sub 500 last year, I mean, obviously you're off to a strong start. It is early, but I mean, you also kind of look at some of the other programs, that we're looking at here. The Blue Jays, they had a really strong year last year. They're kind of treading water right now. Grandview and Herky are kind of having some issues.
Yeah, I get it, and it's early in the season. And you take a look at, things can happen. Things can start gelling. Things can come together, and you just never know what the stretch run now is ahead of them. And
once you hit conference, anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen, and you start getting on. That momentum. Big Mo is always something.
Well, you never know. You might get a win over a rival or something, and that might propel you.
There you go. That is our look at the JCAA girls. Let's take a look at the boys' side here. 5-6 on the Jefferson Blue Jays. St. Vincent 2-5, 1-7 the Herky Black Cats, 1-8 the Grandview Eagles, and 1-9 the Crystal City Hornets. So we had a little bit of a talk earlier today about, I've talked with a couple of our other announcers, and it just seems like right now things are really slow right now for the small schools especially. But again, we take a look at the importance of just keeping that stick-to-itiveness, and we'll see if things start gelling for some of these small schools.
Yeah, obviously you take a look at this, and the thing that jumps off the page is everybody is sub 500. And there's been some tough tournaments that these teams have been in, and obviously the weather, the holiday break, plays into that. But again, once you hit the conference schedule, you get a little footing, you start, seeing that rival school come up, and maybe some of these programs will get a little bit of footing here, But right now it's tough sledding.
Yeah, and we would be probably remiss if we didn't say that right now, the small school JCAA boys a little bit down this season right now. You go through those ebbs and flows, and it really is funny how certain teams fare during certain times of the season, but you've got to fight through it.
I mean, there's good coaches out there, but sometimes, like you said, you're just running up against it, and who knows, maybe somebody's going to throw a switch here and run away with this.
Absolutely. On the large school side for the ladies here, 7-1, the Hiltonsboro Hawks, 9-2 for the Festus Tigers, DeSoto 7-6, Windsor 4-6, and Perryville 2-2. Impressive runs for the Hillsboro Hawks going forward so far. Right?
You look up at the board and you see Hiltonsboro, since this graphic was done, I think they are now, I think they're 8-1, but you keep waiting for that, that long hangover from the season they had last year. Everybody's gunning for them this year, but so far, Coach Hubbard got an answer.
Absolutely. What has impressed me so far this year for Hillsboro, you lost the other Hilton girl, and now, they're able to still maintain their potency and the amount of, just pressure tons of pressure this season. We've got a ton of young talent coming in, and just kind of picking up where things have left off from last season.
Yeah, sometimes the defense has to Matlock stuff down.
Matlock, there you go. I like it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's move over to the boys here real quick, and it looks just like this. Hillsboro at 6-3, along with Windsor 6-3, Festus 7-6, DeSoto 1-5, and Perryville 0-2. Now that is probably there's probably not enough games that have been turned in on the Perryville side, so I'm sure their record is a little bit more than 0-2. But right now things it's a three-way race right here between Hillsboro, Festus, and Windsor. Windsor looks pretty good this year, Scott.
Yeah, and these records may be off a little bit. We kind of pulled these off the web, and sometimes the web can be a little iffy. Mm-hmm. But any of those top three teams, you're talking about any given night, any one of those three teams can pull out a victory.
Yeah, and they've got games with each other here coming up here soon, so we're hoping to be able to cover some of that there. And that is our look at the JCAA standings as we move to our next segment.
Hi, this is Bill Rubel with APB Storage. APB Storage is a locally owned and operated family business that offers the best storage solutions in the Jefferson County area. Our electronic gate gives you 24-hour access to your storage unit, and our state-of-the-art security system provides peace of mind and security. All of the units provide an easy access drive-up doors to allow a stress-free way to your unit. Come see why people prefer the APB storage experience. Give us a call at 636-464-5629 or visit us online at apbstorage.com.
Church is more than just an hour in a pew every Sunday. It's a community. It's where you can come as you are. It's a place where you can connect with God, learn from Scripture, and grow as you build relationships. It's a place where it's okay to be a work in progress. At Faith Community, you'll find an authentic group of people who are pursuing God and supporting one another along the way as we move from where we are to where God wants us to be. Wherever you're at on your journey, you are welcome here.
At Girardi Agency Missouri Farm Bureau, we're dedicated to safeguarding your present and securing your future. Whether it's auto, home, life, health, or business insurance, we offer comprehensive coverage tailored to your needs. We would love the opportunity to earn your business. Our office has been located in Hillsborough for over 30 years. Please contact our office today for a quote. 636-797-5800.
It is time for our pick and roll segment, and we've got our good friend Paige Fowler from the old Herky Black Cats, but she's gone on to a lot of other things. Paige Fowler, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. Just wanted to kind of catch up with you a little bit, and I know you've got you've had a ton of things going on the last few years, and made your way through college, and you're on to bigger and better things. But before we, get there, I want you to just kind of talk a little bit about your college experience and what that's been like.
College was a very great time. I only played 3 years. I did not play my last year because I had enough credits. But freshman year, we started as basically a whole new team, a bunch of freshmen with the upperclassmen were 1 or 2 sophomores. So very young for a 4-year program. And we went, 1-19, 1-17?
Oh boy.
So yeah, not great. And we had a lot of turnover because of that. After that year, coming into sophomore year, we only had 3 returners come back. So we played my sophomore season with 8 girls, technically, but more like 6 that when we actually played. We had 2 other people just like come and help in case of situations of foul trouble and things of that nature. So that was pretty interesting. But we did make the conference tournament that year. And then my last and final year, we had a full team. We had a full roster, which was so great to not have to play 40 minutes because playing all of high school is a lot different than playing all of college.
Yep.
And then we went to the tournament again that year, and I've been keeping tabs and talking to Romero, and they're doing really great. They're actually ranked number 1 in the celiac right now.
Nice.
It hasn't happened, and I don't even know how long. So I think I'm going to go try and watch a game next week of theirs.
Great.
But they're making good moves out there.
So you've been kind of a pioneer for Principia up there, so to speak, eh?
Yeah, it was a brand new program. That was one of the reasons I chose Prin, was because I felt like I could make an impact and bring up a program that from nothing to something, so other girls can experience it. And I think that it's really great that they have a full team and they have a lot of interest and people actually know Principia now instead of just being like, what?
Yeah, right. I get it. Now you've also, you've graduated from Principia. You're now in realty, right? Is that correct still? You're still in realty?
Yeah, I'm a commercial realtor. I work for GJ Gruey. We have shopping centers all over, but the one most notable is Gravois Bluffs.
Awesome.
They develops that, and we do handle all the property management and leasing and of that sort. And we also are franchisees of Slim Chickens and Freddy's.
There you go. Nice. Very nice. Hey, you're on to bigger and better things, but that's not all. You've also just been given in the last 6 months or so a role over at Lewis and Clark College there in Lewis and Clark. That's out there by Godfrey, right? Is that right?
Yeah, it's considered Godfrey.
That's what I figured. So Lewis and Clark, you're a trailblazer and one of the assistant coaches over there. Tell me what the difference in playing for a college than coaching for a college, because I'm sure that is a huge, total different avenue and experience.
Yeah. In coaching in general, I said I was never going to coach. I said I was going to go ref because I thought I'd be a horrible coach. But one thing led to another, and I mean, here I am. But it was definitely a difference considering the girls are basically the same age as me. Mm-hmm. So it was a bit of a struggle trying to determine like lines and boundaries because I wanted to be a source for them to come to because they're all JUCO. So they're wanting to go to 4 years and things like that. And I did 4 years, and I understand what being a college athlete is about, like mentally, physically, like in all aspects. So I wanted them to be able to come to me and feel like they could talk to me, but also I needed to make sure they knew that I wasn't like a teammate or a friend, like I was their coach.
Right.
So I'm still navigating through that, but I think I've done a pretty good job so far. But one thing that's weird is learning plays. I have always been super quick to learn plays. Like I run through it once and I always knew what was going on. Like I could
Sure.
tell you every position. I never had any issues. But then I became a coach and I was no longer walking through the play. It was drawing it up. And the difference, it seems minor, but it actually really messed me up. It took me weeks to figure out our plays just because it was a different way of learning them.
Absolutely. Well, and I know that, you talked about those boundaries. Has that been kind of awkward at first, or, hey, I'm the coach, you're the player, you need to do what I'm asking you to do. How does that go down?
Yeah, it's not as bad. We also have another assistant. She's a student assistant. So she actually was on the team last year and she's a sophomore this year. So knowing her as a player coach, they kind of have gone to her for a lot of like personal communication.
Sure.
Which is fine too. So that's helped with my set of things. But also I had my birthday was my 22nd birthday. And the girls asked, they're like, how old are you anyway? Are you like 24? And I looked at Isaac and we're just like, we're not going to say anything. We're just going to let them think I am. We're not going to let them realize that I'm quite literally the same age as them.
I've always been told never ask a woman her age. So there you go.
Yeah, but they're girl players, it's for different lines. But one of the girls on the team, she's no longer on our team, but in the beginning of the season, she was Brenna. I actually played against her at Fontbonne. She went to Fontbonne her freshman year.
Wow.
So I played against her, and she decided to show the whole team film of when she stole the ball from me during their game.
Oh, boy.
That caused a little controversy for a little while there.
Oh, girls will be girls, right?
Always.
There you go. Well, let's get into the pick and roll questions here real quick. And we just kind of randomly picked a couple questions for you just to kind of, feel things out here. Here's question number 1. Who do you credit with being the biggest influence for your success on the court?
I think I've said this before when I was in high school, but Gary, my old coach, Gary Zastro, he's the biggest credit I can give for not only my development as a player, but also now stepping into the coaching role. I'm trying to think of a lot of the things he said and a lot of the things he did that I really liked as a player and things that sunk in with me and trying to replicate that for my players.
Excellent. Yeah, I remember Gary, and you have high praise for him. I know that. So that's awesome.
Always.
Question number 2, what is your favorite thing about the game of basketball?
I think my favorite thing is the technicality and the flow between players and teams and getting to actually sit there. I love watching the game be played and analyze everything and things like that.
Awesome. Great. Question number 3. This one, I'm going to throw you the curveball here. Have you come across anybody coaching right now that reminds you of you?
In ways, I think that I see a little bit of myself in different players. One of our players, Abby, number 10, she's from Steelville. Her hustle and grit and her she gets on the floor and things like that. She does the dirty work a lot of the time, even though she doesn't get a lot of the credit. And so I see myself in that a lot. But we don't have any post players that I see myself as.
That's okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Final question for you. Here's the question. What do you like to do outside of basketball?
I didn't know there was a thing. I don't know. I go to work, I coach, and then I like cooking and I like reading. I love reading. There we go.
Well, there you go. Hey,
that's my hobby.
A good leader is a good reader. That's what I've always been heard. That's what I've always heard. I don't read a lot, so I must not be the good leader.
You should. I can give you some book recommendations.
There you go. I love it. Well, Paige, we appreciate catching up with you, and good luck to you at Lewis and Clark. And hey, you can still only go up from here, right?
Exactly. Big plans.
Excellent. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
Paige Fowler, folks. Well, that wraps up our season 3, episode 3, Scotty, and going to be a fun one here coming into the beginning of the 2025 season, but looking forward to it. Folks, don't forget that all of our games are on livestreamstl.tv, our website, but you can also check out and download the app from on Roku, Livestream STL. Just type it in there, search for Livestream STL. You can download that, and it's all free. So make sure you check that out, and we hope to see you down the road here soon. For all of us here at Livestream STL and Fast Break, have a great week. Thanks for watching today's broadcast. Any unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written consent of Livestream STL is strictly prohibited.